It is time for another Under the Hood with Hutcheson Ford podcast. And when I lift the hood, I see Mike Tucker's under there. Get out from under the car. Let's go. Come on.
Good afternoon, Cosmo. Good to see you, my friend.
Hanging out in the service department there, working hard, I see. Well, here's the crazy part is, you go under the hood. Well, now you lift up one of those F-150 Lightning hood, and you got a cave in there. There's no motor.
They call it a frunk,
frunk.
And, you just lift that thing up expecting to see an engine, and there's nothing there.
It's crazy.
And I bet you could get 7 to 8 golf bags, if not more, in that area. It also has a little drain plug in there, so if you needed to use that area as a cooler, or if you got moisture in there, you can drain it all out. It's just amazing where technology's headed.
And I remember hearing about the F-150 Lightning because you and your son Drew, in one of the radio commercials, you talked about your wish list and different things, and he was asking for one for Christmas, and you're like, you better go see Santa, son. That's not happening. And not for me. That was really, honestly, kind of the first time I knew that it was coming, because there was a lot of talk about, the F-150, one of the longest and best-selling trucks in the world, and in America especially, and, blue collar and a lot of farm. And how do you get someone to come around to even thinking about having an electric F-150? And then here comes the talk of this Lightning. When you start seeing it and realizing, all the benefits of it, what is the biggest benefit that you guys are seeing when this thing starts hitting the roads?
Well, there's a couple of benefits that you're going to be able to get from the F-150 Lightning. First and foremost, you're never going to have to pull into a filling station again. You're just running off electric charge on those batteries, and the whole premise is that when you park this vehicle at home at night, you just plug it into the wall outlet, and bam, overnight it charges and you're ready to go the next morning. Another benefit to this vehicle is, in the event that you were to lose power in your house and you work with your electric company, you can literally power some of the features of your house off the truck.
And reverse, use it as a generator.
Use it as a generator,
all of a sudden in a storm situation or something where you lose power for a little bit. Obviously, it's not going to last for, a crazy amount of time, but might save some food in the freezer or in the refrigerator if you end up in an emergency situation. That's
absolutely
crazy.
And so with that being said, we've got a lot of customers that commute back and forth to St. Louis every day. So you're talking right at 100 miles one way. This vehicle is going to be capable of getting you to St. Louis and home with no problem at all. And just think of the amount of money the customers are going to save in fuel alone.
Well, especially and that's the next, obviously the big thing, everybody's talking about that sticker shock of that gas pump.
Yes.
As it keeps climbing higher and closer to 4, and who knows from there.
Yes, no doubt. So big savings there.
Now, if you go farther, I guess the question with a lot of the electric vehicles becomes, you have to find a charging station somewhere. If you're traveling, you're going to go from here to Steamboat Springs, Colorado on a trip or whatever, going on a big, long golf trip. Not like you've ever wanted to go on a golf trip, Mike, or anything. But
every day.
If you're going on a longer distance, do you have to, do you find a charging bank, or is it specific, or is it?
It's an excellent question, and whenever you purchase a vehicle, we help the customers get the Ford Pass app downloaded on their phone, on their iPhone. And with that Ford Pass app, you're able to actually look at a map and find out where the charging stations are. Let's say you're trying to get from here to Indianapolis.
Right.
You can actually look at the map, figure out where those charging stations are, and then maybe you're just making arrangements to stop in Effingham, for instance, or wherever, and grab some lunch, let the vehicle charge for a little while you're eating lunch. Maybe you got a favorite winery you want to hit, or you're going to see some family members. You can look at that map on your Ford Pass app, and it's going to tell you where those charging stations are along your way, so you can kind of plan your trip and make sure you're going to have time to get a charge as you need it.
And in the future, those locations are going to become more and more prevalent.
Absolutely.
As more of this technology continues to expand and grow into our everyday lives.
It's my understanding on the East Coast, and I'm sure on the West Coast as well, but they're taking old filling stations that aren't in operation anymore, getting those purchased up and converting those over to charging station areas. Here locally, we have charging stations at the Bandanas Barbecue over in Rolla. And I know St. James is looking at putting some charging stations here in St. James as well. We have charging stations at the dealership. So why is that of importance? Because people can stop at the dealership and charge. We can get them a ride downtown so they can check out some of our wineries, our eating establishments, things of that nature while their vehicle's charging.
It's unbelievable. It's crazy technology. But,
it is.
Now, harder to lose that charger than it would be your cell phone charger, which that's up to
yeah.
you guys. If you lose your cell phone charger, that's on you.
Yeah.
Here a couple years ago, whenever, I guess the first one that I saw came out, had a chance to drive around the block one of the Mustang Mach-E's, and that was the first time I had ever driven an electric-powered vehicle.
Yeah.
And that was just an unbelievable experience. It is really fun and kind of cool when you stop and all of a sudden you're like, wait, I don't hear anything.
That's exactly
That's
right.
so strange.
And the power from that electric just really throws you back in the seat, and it's more fun to drive than you would think. Being from the Show Me State, people just want to see it and try it for themselves. And these things are in such demand and the supply is so low, but that's going to get fixed, and there's going to be plenty of supply for the customer base, and they'll be able to try them out and see what they're all about.
I guess the question to you at Hutcheson Ford, and as we talk Under the Hood podcast here with Mike Tucker from Hutcheson Ford, with the lightning coming in the truck world for the and other electric vehicles, and even some that are hybrid and a little combination of both. There's a step in between everything.
Yes.
What are the hybrid vehicles? Are there some now that are coming from Ford?
Oh, absolutely. And the hybrid technology has been around for quite a while. But, I think of the Escape hybrid, the Fusion hybrid. We even have the F-150 hybrid right now. And basically what the deal is with the hybrid technology, from 0 to, let's say, 47 miles an hour, you're running off the batteries, so you're not burning any fuel. But when you need that additional power, or if you're in the heat of the summer and you got the air conditioning running and the motor needs more power to power some of your options on the vehicle, the engine will kick in and you'll start burning fuel so you can still power those other options on the vehicle. But the hybrid, the whole premise is around town, when you're driving 35 miles an hour, you're burning electric power and you're saving your fuel. These vehicles are so smart that if you haven't burned fuel for a long time, the motor will just kick on to burn and get that fuel out of there, so you're keeping fresh fuel in the system. If that makes sense.
So obviously, if you need it for work or play, you're towing the boat, or you're towing the golf cart, or you're just
exactly right.
Whatever you're doing. Amazing wise as far as saving that fuel cost, because trucks get less miles per gallon than an average car, or even some of the smaller SUVs. Now that they have gotten even more fuel efficient.
Mm-hmm. Technology's amazing, and it's constantly changing, and that's what's so fun about the car business.
What is the number one question you guys have gotten about these vehicles? I'm sure it's some of the same things we've kind of talked about, but
probably one of the biggest questions I get is, can I charge this thing at home? And the answer to that question is yes. You can charge it at home on just a 110-volt outlet. It takes longer.
Sure.
The chargers that we have at the dealership are more of the 220 type charging station, which you can purchase that as an accessory from Ford Motor Company and then have a certified electrician install it for you at your house.
That was going to be my next question. That is available?
That is available. And those charging stations run around $795, $800. Then you're going to have some expense in the labor to get it installed. The cool thing is you can roll that right into your financing when you purchase the vehicle and have it done at a later date, or you can pay for it out of pocket. But having that 220 charging station allows the vehicle to charge quicker.
Even faster.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
It's and you mentioned the old gas stations, of course, when you guys are in the Route 66 world along the corridor there, that back in the day there was those little filling stations every 15, 20 miles or whatever in every little town along the way, and now we're getting the electric plug-ins. It's very interesting that they're using those footprints to do that. It's as we've jumped forward in the technology, we're flashing back a little bit in the way it was done before. Instead of just the filling station, now it's a plug-in.
No doubt about it. It's just exciting times we live in. I still struggle with the autonomous vehicles. Just the thought of getting in a vehicle and plugging in an address and then it just takes you there. That scares me to death. I'm more of a control freak.
You still want to print off 8 pages of MapQuest to figure out how you're getting somewhere. My dad was always big with the Atlas, right? We'd be on family
the old
vacations.
Rand McNally
but
Atlas.
then even just to go, they'd have 4 pages of MapQuest printed off and turn left, turn right. And so it is amazing. And I know when we talked on our last podcast with Harold, you've seen a lot of change in technology. And, what he's seen and the amount of just in the regular cars, even 10 years ago, the amount of technology that's in the dash and all of that is light years ahead of.
Yeah. And I'd like to give kudos to not only my sales employees, but our service employees. What people don't realize is the amount of training they have to go through to stay on top of all this technology that's constantly changing. But I think they enjoy it as much as we do because it keeps them fresh, and they never know what's coming around the corner either. They're true stewards of their trade, and they know these vehicles inside and out, and they're just really, really good at what they do. And I would be lost without each and every one of them.
Well, and again, that's why you guys have events, those customer, vehicle check-ins, and you can come back and of course, at any time you get a phone call or swing by the dealership and say, okay, show me again.
Yeah.
How do I do this? How do I get my, phone to sync, or how can I do? Because, some of the older folks, that technology-wise, heck, I'm barely out of a flip phone. Mike, I don't know how to run this whole computer on my dashboard.
And there's nothing more frustrating than trying to call somewhere for help and getting a hold of a computerized system when you just want to talk to a warm body.
Yes.
And so my point is, don't be embarrassed or afraid to call or stop by the dealership and let us help with this technology, because it can be overwhelming. But technology change, it's usually always for the better, and we just want to be able to help customers enjoy the new technology of these vehicles, because it is pretty impressive what they can do.
Well, they're coming, and I know you very soon on your lot you'll have some of those F-150 Lightnings, and you can see the Frunk up front. And if you haven't had a chance, look around, find some videos online, and I know you guys have some links on the website at HutchesonFord.com. I know Jimmy Fallon did a really funny bit on The Tonight Show here a couple months back. I think I could draw the truck better than he did. I might have to give that a shot on one of my videos, but I love the idea of having all that space for golf clubs, or a cooler for a family reunion camping trip, or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
It's pretty amazing.
It is amazing. But, I encourage people. FordVehicles.com is a good place to go and research. HutchesonFord.com is a great place to go and research. As you're researching, if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out and give us a call. 573-265-7015. We just want to help. It's not what we do, it's how we do it.
How we do it. Check them out pretty soon. Yeah, you're going to have to find more charging stations. And I love, and simply, because that is one of the other big questions, is the cost. But the fact that they can put the at-home chargers, the bigger ones, into the financing of the vehicle, and it rolls right into your truck payment every month. That's amazing.
It's a very simple process.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mike, thank you again for letting me hang out at the recording studio / living room or dining room. And one of these, when the weather gets even nicer, we'll record a podcast on the golf course.
Absolutely.
We'll do one from the cattle barn. We'll do one we'll just make it a road trip and have some fun. And I want
to encourage people out there listening or watching. You got ideas or things you want to know more about, feel free to drop us an email or give us a call. Let us know what's on your mind, and we'll see if we can get your questions answered.
Absolutely. Let's hit those questions up and reach out to me at the radio station as well on the Y107 Morning Show. And again, Under the Hood podcast, we're trying to crank out at least one a month, maybe some more, some video content coming too. Just have some fun with it. Mike, thank you so much.
You bet. Be safe.